How are you, friends? I hope you all are fine. Welcome all of you to our YouTube channel, English Story 26. Friends, today we have brought a very important moral story, so let's watch it and enjoy it. Chapter 1. What is heaven or hell? Once a holy man met God. He was always curious to know about heaven and hell, so when he met God, he asked, "Can you tell me what heaven or hell is like?" God smiled and took him to another world. There they were standing in front of two doors. God asked him to go and look for himself. Inside each door, holy man opened first door. There he saw a large round table with people sitting around. A large pot of delicious stew was kept in middle of table. People sitting there were having very long spoons as attachment to their arms. Spoons was long enough to reach pot of delicious stew in middle, but because of long handle, people were not able to get spoonful of food back into their mouth. Not being able to eat food because of those long spoons, they all were thin and sickly. People there were very sad and unhappy. Holy man was shuddered seeing the misery of people suffering there. Holy man came back from that room and opened door to another room. Another room was exactly same as first room. Large round table with people sitting around having long spoon attachment to their arms, but here people were well nourished and healthy and were happily talking and eating. Holy man was happy to see that and came out of that door. He went to God and said, "I don't understand. Both room are same, yet one room is full of misery and another is filled with happiness." God explained, "You see, those long spoon extension are long enough to feed others, but not short enough to feed yourself. First room you went to was hell. There people are greedy and think only about themselves and don't
want to help others, because of which they are not able to feed themselves and suffering misery. Whereas second room went to was heaven. It was full of people who cared and loved for each other. They support each other and feed each other with those long spoons, because of which they are healthy and happy."
Moral: if we learn to support and care for each other, we can make our life heaven and live happily. Giving and sharing brings inner joy. Chapter 2. Young Marine. Reply to nurse. A nurse hurriedly took a young Marine to bedside of an old man and said to him, "Your son is here." Patient was heavily sedated. After a while, with difficulty, old man opened his eyes. A young Marine was standing near his bed. Old man reached out to his hand. Seeing this, young man took his hand and hold it. He wrapped his hand around old man's trembling hand with care and affection. Nurse brought a chair for Marine to sit beside old man's bed. Whole night Marine was sitting by old man's side, holding his hand and comforting him. Occasionally, nurse would come to check in for old man's condition and would suggest Marine to move away and have some rest, but he refused. Nurse was touched by the love and affection of son for his old man. Later that night, when she came in, she heard that young man saying few gentle words to old man. Dying old man said nothing, but only held tightly his hand. Toward dawn, old man died. Marine released lifeless hand of old man and went to nurse to inform her about old man's death. After completing all the formalities, she returned to young Marine and started to offer his sympathy, but young Marine interrupted her and said, "Why are you saying this to me?" Nurse was startled by his response and hesitating answered, "He was your father." Marine replied, "No, I don't know him. I never even met him before in life." Nurse was confused and questioned, "If you don't know him, then why didn't you said something when I took you to him?" Marine replied, "I knew that time. There had been mistake, but you were in so much hurry, and when I saw old man, I felt that he needed his son, and who wasn't there. When he took my hand, I realized that he was too sick to tell whether I was his son or not. Knowing how much he needed his son in his last time, I stayed there." Moral: when someone needs you, just be there.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do like, share, comment, and subscribe my YouTube channel.